passengers on the helicopter that crashed in the Hudson River have been identified. But first, I'm going to look at the video coverage of it, and then I'm going to go through all the witnesses' accounts and read those off. All right, so let's check out the video. Here we go. Boom.
That deadly crash where it appears the helicopter rotor blades detached from the fuselage. The NTSB says flights like these have been a safety concern for years.
New CCTV footage showing truly shocking images.
Yeah,
the helicopter flying over the Hudson River, passing behind a building until in the top middle of your screen, you see it in distress, falling at a precarious angle toward the river, breaking apart in midair. We've stopped the video before the crash that killed all 6 people aboard.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Was the wind that high?
Another video shows the rotor blades fully detached, spinning toward the water. The bystander recording video in total disbelief. The National Transportation Safety Board now taking lead on the investigation into the crash, saying safety on sightseeing flights like this has been a long-term concern.
We do believe that they should be regulated. We have issued recommendations in the past.
The pilot, identified as 36-year-old Sean Johnson from Chicago. According to these Facebook posts, he's trained and worked in a number of different states as a helicopter pilot, working as an aerial firefighter pilot last year. And before his New York pilot career, he was working here in Chicago as a pilot for a helicopter tour company. The I-Team reached out to Fly Heli, and they had no comment. Nico Tiapula says he served with Johnson in the Navy on the USS Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier for 3 years.
Everyone that he has ever been around with, he's always been very nice, very outgoing.
Tiapula says Johnson trained at Naval Station Great Lakes and grew up on the south side of the city. His friend group utterly devastated by the loss.
He had a work ethic unlike any other.
The chopper was taking a family of 5 from Spain on a sightseeing tour. Parents Merci Montal and Agustin Escobar seen here when the helicopter appears to fall apart. City authorities citing the possibilities of mechanical, drone, or bird interference that could have contributed to the crash.
As of March 29, 2025, the pilot accumulated about 788 hours of total flight time.
Tonight, Johnson remembered fondly by friends who say he was exemplary.
The man was an amazing pilot. I highly doubt it's going to come back to anything that he did wrong.
Right? How can he did anything wrong?
The preliminary cause of the crash, but that helicopter was on its 6th flight of the day. Charter company New York Helicopter Tours was operating the flight. The CEO saying his staff is devastating. But tonight, real questions over the safety of some of those sightseeing tours after what we saw happen in New York.
Still so many questions on what exactly happened up
Exactly.
there. It says that was the 6th flight of the day. Can you imagine the other 5 people that been on that helicopter? Like, hey, we was just on there. Yo. Final destination type of stuff, man. I don't know. But yeah, how can they say it was the pilot? You cannot say it was the pilot's fault when the helicopter just fall apart in midair. You know, it don't look like something like hit it or anything, but I don't know. I never rode in a helicopter before. That was on my bucket list to, at least fly in a helicopter at least once. But after the Kobe situation, I was like, I don't think so. Getting on anything, my condolences goes out to everybody on board who perished, but getting on board helicopters and airplanes right now, I will wait at least 5 years to get on a plane or a helicopter. I'm just saying. It says it was a family of 5 from Spain. They did the helicopter ride. It was the mother's 40th birthday. Even though her birthday is in June, they wanted to do it today. The father, he was 49 years old. The mother, 39. 4-year-old named Victor Escobar Campervy. Mercedes Escobar Campervy, who was 9, and then they say is an unidentified child. That child looked older if you're looking at the picture. A couple that was next in line speaks out. Oh, man. I forgot about that. Can you imagine? You like, yeah, we going on next. Martim, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. 23, a tourist from the Netherlands, told the New York Daily News that she and her partner was waiting in line at the New York City heliport behind the Spanish family of 5 who boarded the helicopter that crashed in the Hudson River. It could have been us. We saw the helicopter take off, and when you think back, like, oh, that's the helicopter we saw. We saw pictures of the family and realized, wow, that's the one we saw at the heliport. Having watched news footage of the crash after returning to their hotel is really, really hard. I don't even know how would I react to that. So they were initially excited when they booked the New York City helicopter ride 6 months ago. She told the newspaper that when They arrived at the heliport early around 4:45 p.m. That their aerial tour, she noticed the helicopter employees were pacing and appearing nervous. So they didn't even see what happened. Yeah, it said the flight departed from Wall Street heliport at 3 p.m. and the radar shows it flew north along the Manhattan skyline, then back south toward the Statue of Liberty. New York City said the helicopter went out of control minutes after takeoff before plummeting into the water near the New Jersey side of the river. Maybe they were too distracted. Maybe it didn't crash over near them. The helicopter reached the George Washington Bridge and then turned again to fly south along the New Jersey shoreline. Shortly thereafter, the aircraft lost control and hit the water just a few feet off the coast of Pier Park in Hoboken. Says after 15 minutes, the couple were told that the flights were canceled for the rest of the day. We're asking like, what happened? And then they said something happened. So they ain't telling. So they must didn't hear nothing. So it must was further away. I'm not familiar with New York like that or anything, so I don't know. It says the pilot called in that he was landing and that he needed fuel. And it should have taken him about 3 minutes to arrive, but 20 minutes later, he didn't arrive. So he needed fuel? See, well, that's not part of why it crashed, because he needed fuel. I can't put this on the pilot because I don't think pilots are the ones that's supposed to go around and inspect the helicopters. You know, I think they got crews and people for that. I mean, he probably can do what he can do about checking like the inside or anything, but have anything having to do with the propellers or if anything alerted him that something was loose or something like that, I don't know, because that's crazy. If a bird fly into it and it just make the propeller come off, come on, man. Talking about they making excuses. Drone, bird. Nah, that thing probably, it was something malfunctioned and had that thing come off. Cell phone footage video captured inverted sightseeing helicopter fall into the river. Witnesses said the aircraft rotor blades were already detached by the time it hit the water. I mean, basically, you taking a chance on the road or in the air. When we drive, we got to get in. We got to have our car inspected. I think aircrafts and helicopters need to do that too. They need to have a certain day. They need to get inspected. We got to do that. When we driving on the road, they should have that due. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Alright y'all, that's it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop videos.